So this is the unboxing part, and I just got this, and I'm excited, bro. Guys, are you excited? It's me. Let's sneak peek what we got here. Oh shit! No way! No way, bro. It's Shaver. Oh my god, Eddie! You just knew what I need, bro. Guys, you won't believe what happened to me. I just received a package from United States, and yeah, it's from the Eddie the Barber. He's running the YouTube channel called YouTube Barber Academy. So guys, make sure you go follow his channel, because he's putting so much work in it, so much knowledge, and it's all for free, man. I learned so many stuff from his channel. He helped me a lot, you know, in my barbering career. I just started recently, and I just won the giveaway, and I cannot believe I got this package. So shout out to you, Eddie. Love you, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate your work, bro.
I'm gonna try my best to do this in the camera. It's usually a little easier to do this in the mirror, but if you could see, I'm kind of light. I'm kind of light on the corners here. So let's see if we can darken that up a little bit.
I'll talk to him every now and then. He's like, oh yeah, crazy one now. Yeah, right.
Okay, so first impressions with this is it's actually got a lot of power, a lot more than my previous cordless model did. I kind of like the fact how there's no on and off button. You just push this button down and it begins to get it running. So you just push it down and back. It's pretty easy to maneuver. Seems like it's working pretty well. And before this question comes up in the comments, which I know it will, you guys are gonna ask me, how do you mix a color? What do you do? So if you're new to this, let's do that right now. One of the first things I do is I just find a container. I love these Tomb 45 containers, and you know what? I'm gonna dump this one out. I'm gonna just completely empty it, and I'm gonna remix so I can show you guys from scratch like what I'll do. Okay, so I got my bottle empty, and there's nothing actually in here. We're gonna put, the first things first, we're gonna put some alcohol in here. Doesn't really matter what alcohol you can get, 70%, 90%. This just happens to be 90% because it's what Sam's Club had, and I'm just gonna fill this up with alcohol. You can mix it with water, but water tends to give you some issues, like when you, it tends to clump up the gun and it causes issues, so I just prefer to use this, plus this thins it out a little bit. So I just put a little bit in there. I don't really want to mix too much because it's going to go bad when it starts to oxidize, so this will be more than enough. Depending on what color hair your client has, you're gonna pick the Kiss Express. I'm gonna put links to everything I use down in the description so you guys can just click it and you can see it. The only one I use, like I don't wanna say it's the only one I use, but 99% of the time I just use the black, and that's K98 black. So let's do that one here. I'm gonna open this up and I'm just gonna pour some of it in. I'm not measuring nothing. I'm not really paying attention to any of that. Just a little bit. Now I'm gonna put this cap back on, close it, and just shake it up. You want it to basically be as thin as you can get it. The mixture, you want it to be super thin so it goes through the gun so it doesn't cause issues or clumps. And that's pretty much it. So there's my mixture. I have enough to fill this. I have enough to fill this reservoir a couple times. So yeah, that's about it. So I'm just gonna dump some in, and let's test this thing and compare it to the one that's hooked up to the big compressor, because that's really what I'm curious about. Is this good enough to replace my compressor or not? All right, so a good way to test this, it's empty. This one's old, it's got like rust inside and everything. I'm just gonna spray it on like a white piece of paper here. So let's fill up the one that's on the cable first. I assume this will work better just because of the fact that it gets more PSI, but let's see how it goes. So You guys can see a lot of color comes out. It does exactly what it's supposed to. You kind of want to see it kind of come out like that. Like if you notice it's not clumping or anything, it's fading nice. You can add this to your blends. You can help it to remove gray. And let's compare to the cordless one, which again, we're using the same mixture, so I think it's like a kind of a fair comparison. So here's the cordless one. We're just gonna pour some in. And I just put a little bit. Let's see what the difference is. All right, you guys can see it's definitely spraying a lot less, a lot more spread out, but you know, you can kind of see how much thicker this one is than this one. This isn't like the greatest benchmark, but you can sort of see it's definitely clumping a little bit more than the one with the more powerful spray. So, you know, I don't know if that's going to be an issue or not, but it definitely seems like this will work fine. I mean, I like the way it's dispersing the spray. Maybe it's not going to make a difference, but all right. So one thing that I like to do is I like to take some of the alcohol and I'll just run it through it. So first I'll rinse it out with water, then I'll put a little bit of alcohol in here and I'll just spray it through it. That'll keep my gun clean. I'll be able to use it on my next client, won't have an issue. The other thing I'll do too to clean this out, a lot of times you'll see little black stuff come out. If you plug this and then you spray it, you'll see it start to pop out the top. That helps clean it out a little bit too. So once I got it nice and clean, I'll just put it away and I'm good to go. But never let your gun sit with color in it. It will definitely start to clump. You'll definitely have issues. All right, guys, this guy here, he was a military hero, served in Vietnam, comes in every morning on Saturday at what, 6, 7? Sometimes you sleep in.
Yep. Yeah, one time 7.
One time he slept until 7. You believe that?
Yeah. All right.
Shout out to the people who serve. Thank you for your service.
Well, this is kind of an ideal situation because he's got sort of a sparse beard, and when you put this on, it definitely is going to help with the line. It's going to help bring that out and kind of let him know whether he wants to grow his beard out or not, give him an idea of what he would look like with it. Also, if a client had a patchy beard or little spots missing, you could definitely see that will bring it out, kind of clean it up a little bit. And do your best to match the color. There's times where you might be able to thin it out a little bit, the mixture, or you might have to pick a different shade of Kiss. I probably could have went a shade lighter on him, but it gets the point across in the video. So as soon as you're done spraying it, you get it as close as you can with a card or with something, and then pick up the razor and go to town with the razor, because while it's still wet, you can still move it. And most clients are gonna tell you that it lasts between 2 days or so afterwards. So it's definitely enough to get you through like a special event, something like that. And you know, you can really bring out your work and kind of showcase what you're doing a little bit better with the enhancements. I personally have no problem with doing enhancements. I think it's great. I think it adds another service. I think it also adds another element to services where you can really perfect them. I know there's a lot of people who are haters about this thing, spraying paint on the face, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I've heard it all, man. But anything that keeps moving this business forward, additional services, additional ways to achieve perfection that wasn't God-given, whatever we got to do to move the needle forward, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. So overall, it's a little tricky when you first get started doing enhancements, but if you do make a mistake, I keep a color remover on my station, and I still make mistakes to this day with it. So there's times where I got to wipe it off and reapply, and that's just how it is. And you could see on this side, it was a little bit lower as I was so focused on filming, but I wind up kind of shaping this up and making it perfect in the end, and you can kind of see what his beard was to what his beard became. And you know, it's kind of funny because I've been cutting his hair since before he ever had a beard, and once I finished putting this on and getting it just right, it actually looked just so weird for me to see him with a beard. But he's growing a pretty good beard, he is. So if he wants to start wearing it, he's getting the idea, getting a good look at what it will look like. So overall, can't really complain. The gun is definitely doing what it's supposed to do. And this has kind of been my experience with a few of these cordless air compressor guns. They'll work well for a little while, but will they hold up? That is the golden question. Will this thing hold up? That I can't really attest to, as I've only had it for about 2 weeks. But overall, when it works, it works.
Being perfectly honest, the video I was gonna make about this product after the first day using it, I was gonna give it an overwhelmingly positive review. It seemed like it had the power, it did what it needed to do, it was good. However, I left it with my guys, I told them to test it, and by the time I came back, they kept it clean, they did what they were supposed to do, they ran alcohol through it like I told them to do. It's totally clogged, and in order to fix this, I'd have to take this all the way apart. This is something I can't deal with. I don't have time for. My gun on the wall that's attached with a cord, it shoots at 50 PSI, probably 30 continuous, which means that this one has the power to blow through any garbage. Like for instance, last night, I clearly left this thing full. I left this one full last night because I had to use this because the other one was clogged and I didn't have time to take it apart. But you know what? Even though I left color in it, this one works perfectly fine, which is one of the reasons why I don't think I can stick with a cordless for now until they come up with a way to cram more power into this thing where it can blow through any type of debris. I'm probably gonna be sticking with my corded version, but I'm gonna give them one more try today with this other one because they did send me two. And shout out to the company, Honesty, I guess that's their name. And I'm going to take this gun out. I'm gonna try this one. So I'm glad they sent me two. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And yeah, let's give this a try again today. Oh, and by the way, I'm super excited to watch the Bills game. On Sunday, I'm going to Miami and we're gonna watch the Bills play. Hopefully we squish the fish. That'll be great. And yeah, so it is actually 5 a.m. Today is Saturday, and I'm about to get my first customer in here, but before that happens, I just wanna cut my mop. So let's go. Honesty, I guess, that's their name. And I'm going to take this gun out. I'm gonna try this one. So I'm glad they sent me two. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And yeah, let's give this a try again today. Oh, and by the way, I'm super excited to watch the Bills game. On Sunday, I'm going to Miami and we're gonna watch the Bills play. Hopefully we squish the fish. That'll be great. Okay, so your boy's getting a little thin here and here. So I'm gonna put this up here and we'll see how well this new one works. So I don't feel so thin no more. We'll let it dry and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Hopefully these guns keep working like this. Alright guys, Editor Ed here, just wrapping up this video. I want to tell you that I used the gun a lot. It actually performed pretty well as long as I kept my mixture pretty thin. I had to be kind of careful with it, make sure I kept it super clean, and overall it's working pretty good. So I would give this thing a definite thumbs up for travel work, for like light work and stuff like that. I still think it might lack a little bit of power for me to consistently want to use it all the time because, again, if I get a clog in it, a lot of times it doesn't have the power to just blow it out. The fact that I can't clear the gun is sort of a problem. If it had a little bit more power, a little bit more oomph to blow any debris out, even when I plug the end and I hit the button, that's usually what blows out my big gun, and it's no problem, and it'll usually blow out anything, and I've never ever had to take the big one apart fully to clean it. I can definitely tell that I would probably have to take this little one apart to clean it, especially to fix the one gun that got clogged. But I am kind of curious if I would have been using the no drip from Tomb 45. I feel like that probably would have worked fine. It probably would have slid through that gun with ease because it's a little thinner than the Kiss Express. So yeah, if I had to sum up all the pros and cons, pros, obviously it's cordless. It works pretty well when you keep the mixture thin, and that is a real good convenience. The battery life seemed to be fine. That was awesome. Ergonomically, it was great. I like the way it functions. I like the fact that it doesn't have an on-off button. It's one of those things that's sort of fail-proof, like you won't have an issue with the switch, so that's kind of cool. One downside I would definitely say is the charger. It would have been cool if it was like a micro USB or something like that, or something a little bit more universal, because the charger that it is, if you lose that, You're not going to be able to charge it, so that's kind of a downer. And the lack of power that it can't blow out the debris is kind of the only other real negative that I could come up with. I would really love to see a company come out with one that could just really pack a lot of power, where it was just as good as the one on the floor. But as of right now, I think it would still be smart to keep one on the floor just to back you up. And if you can get away with it, use the cordless one all day. And that's kind of what my plan is going to be. Knowing that I have that other one to give me up just gives me that extra confidence that if a client books a service, I'll still be able to perform it, even if I have some type of malfunction with the other one. So, you know, with that being said, shout out to the company. I appreciate you guys sending me that. And anybody else who may be watching who wants to send me products to test or whatever, maybe I'll do a video on it, whatever, just feel free to shoot me an email and I'll be more than happy to see what we can do. And this is the YouTube Barber Academy. I'm Mr. Eddie Barber, and I'll see you guys in another video. Peace.